The room was already restless when the poor girl was pushed toward the microphone, laughter floating in the bright daylight like dust in the air. No one noticed the single father standing at the back of the school hall, holding his breath, unaware that the next few minutes would change more than one broken life. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet heroes who change the world without applause, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Life Spark Stories right now. Support keeps stories like this alive. Armin Hale had learned to live carefully. As a single dad, his days were measured by school bells, grocery receipts, and the silent hope that tomorrow would be lighter than yesterday. Since his wife passed away, the world had become a place of endurance rather than dreams. As a school maintenance helper, fixing chairs and cleaning corridors while raising his young son alone. The teachers barely noticed him, and the students never did, except one small girl who sometimes waited near the music room after school, humming to herself while clutching a worn notebook. Her name was Noure Kassim, and she came from the poorest part of town, living with an ill mother, and the weight of adult worries pressed into a child's shoulders. Noure had been invited to sing during the daytime school assembly, but not because anyone believed in her talent. It was meant to be entertainment of a different kind, a quiet joke passed among classmates who knew she wore the same faded dress every week and carried lunches wrapped in old paper. Armin had seen it forming in their eyes as he cleaned the hall that morning, the kind of cruelty that pretends to be harmless fun. He wanted to step in, to stop it. Life had taught him how small people like him were supposed to stay. As sunlight streamed through tall windows, Noure stood alone on the stage, hands trembling, eyes fixed on the floor. The laughter softened into whispers. Armin felt his chest tighten as he remembered the nights he sang softly to his son, so the boy would not hear the hunger in their fridge or the grief in his father's heart. Music had always been the one place pain could rest without explanation. When Noure lifted her head, something shifted in the room, not because of confidence, but because of courage. Voice rose gently at first, fragile as glass, then grew into something clear and pure, carrying the ache of empty rooms and the hope of unseen mornings. The hall changed. Chairs stopped creaking. Teachers leaned forward. The whispers fell away, replaced by a stillness so complete it felt sacred. In that bright daytime light, her voice filled every corner, loud but powerful, not polished but real. It was the sound of survival turned into beauty. Armin felt tears blur his vision. He saw his own struggles reflected in that small figure, standing firm despite the world's quiet cruelty. He realized then that help did not always arrive as money or miracles. Sometimes it arrived as one person believing when everyone else mocked. When the song ended, the silence held for a long moment, as if the room needed time to remember how to breathe. Then applause rose, hesitant at first, then overwhelming, washing over Noure like a tide she had never known. That afternoon, things began to change. Teachers asked questions they had never asked before. The music instructor offered guidance. Armin used what little savings he had to buy Noure a second-hand music book, slipping it to her with a nod rather than words. He understood pride and knew how fragile hope could be. Noure's smile that day was small, but it carried the weight of possibility. Passed, and the school hall felt different in the daylight. Noure walked taller. The laughter that once followed her faded into respect. Armin continued his quiet work, still unnoticed by many, but something inside him had healed. He had learned that being a father was not only about protecting his own child, about standing beside another when the world tried to shrink them. Near the end of the year, Noure sang again. This time invited, this time honored. Armin watched from the same spot at the back, sunlight warming his face, knowing that kindness, even the smallest kind, could echo louder than cruelty ever could. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who needs hope today, and stay connected with Life Spark Stories for more real, emotional journeys. Before the ending, a special request: comment the word hope if you believe one voice, one act of kindness can change a life.